There is a state of mind in which abundance is not a hope, not a wish, not a distant future, but a natural atmosphere in which you live and breathe. Most men never enter it once in their lifetime. Yet you are one night away from stepping into it while you sleep. You have chased prosperity with effort. You have tried discipline, optimism, new habits, new goals. Yet a quiet emptiness follows you. A sense that something is still missing, that something is not effort. It is alignment. Abundance is not forced. It is allowed. And allowing begins within the subconscious. Imagine this. While your conscious mind rests, a deeper law begins to work through you. Free from fear, free from doubt, free from the old identity that has starved your potential for years. A law that does not ask for struggle, but obedience. A law that responds instantly when your inner state matches its rhythm. Many speak of abundance as if it were a secret reserved for the fortunate. But abundance is not a gift. It is a condition of mind. When a man's inner world vibrates with lack, opportunities slip past him. When it vibrates with abundance, doors open before he even knocks. Tonight, you will step into that higher state, not by force, but by surrender. Not by thinking harder, but by releasing the thoughts that have been holding you captive. Consider the truth you have avoided. Your external life has never contradicted your inner beliefs. Your bank account, your confidence, your relationships, your daily decisions, they have all mirrored the picture your subconscious holds. If you want a different world, you must give your inner world a different command. Here is where your nights become powerful. The subconscious is most receptive when your conscious mind grows quiet. This is why men succeed for a time, yet fall back into the same limitations. They attempt to build prosperity with a mind that is still patterned for scarcity. But as you fall asleep tonight, you will not drift into the same inner darkness. You will enter a field of thought that carries the rhythm of abundance. A field that trains your subconscious to expect prosperity as naturally as your heart expects to beat. Pause and ask yourself, what would your life look like if abundance became the default setting of your mind? If you woke each morning feeling guided rather than lost, confident rather than frightened, prepared rather than overwhelmed. Most men never find out. They live from lack because lack is familiar. They desire wealth, but sleep in fear. Tonight you will break that pattern. Think of the emotions that have accompanied your sleep. Worry, regret, dread of tomorrow, the ache of what has not yet come. These emotions have shaped your subconscious every night without your permission. But tonight, a new emotion takes their place. Abundance. You will feel it not as a dream, not as fantasy, but as a steady inner certainty that grows with each breath. You will feel it settling into the deepest part of you, replacing the old story with a new expectation. Let me give you a hint, but not the whole truth. Abundance is not a result, it is a frequency. A man aligned with it does not chase. He attracts. He does not fear. He knows. He does not beg. He commands. When you enter this state, life begins to reorganize itself around your definitesse. But I will not reveal everything here. The subconscious must experience the shift, not analyze it. You will understand more fully once you hear the rhythm I will place before your sleeping mind. Know this, abundance comes to the man who feels rich before he is rich, who thinks in terms of possibility before he sees evidence, who accepts prosperity internally long before the world delivers it outwardly. Tonight, you will experience that acceptance for the first time. Picture waking tomorrow with a sense of calm you cannot explain, a sense of direction that feels placed in you, a feeling that life is beginning to support you instead of resist you. These are the first signs that your subconscious has begun to absorb the frequency. But speak of this to no one. Others may not understand. They will confuse your calm for arrogance, your confidence for illusion, your certainty for naivety. Let them. The man who lives in abundance owes no explanation to those who live in fear. Tonight is not about noise. It is about transformation. Quiet, internal, undeniable transformation. Lie down with this understanding. The world you awaken into tomorrow will not be the one you fell asleep in. Something within you will shift. Something old will fall away. Something powerful will rise. Let the world sleep in ignorance while you sleep in abundance. Close your eyes. Release the day. Enter the state that few men ever touch. For when the subconscious accepts abundance, life has no choice but to follow. Abundance is not a thing that must be pursued, but a condition that must be permitted. It does not arrive by force, nor by accident, but by harmony. Every man lives beneath a silent law that rewards inner agreement. When thought, emotion, and action unite, power flows. When they conflict, energy scatters, and life mirrors that confusion in delay, lack, and endless striving. The subconscious is the custodian of this harmony. It listens not to words, but to tone, not to intention, but to emotion. It understands feeling, not argument. The man who claims prosperity aloud yet entertains fear in silence instructs his inner world to divide against itself. One part of him desires wealth, another part resists it. The result is contradiction. Half-built plans, broken progress, and exhaustion. The first step toward mastery of abundance is alignment. The law of alignment demands that your thought, emotion, and purpose move as one. Thought provides the image. Emotion gives it vitality. Purpose sustains its motion. When these three agree, the subconscious finds no interference. It moves forward without resistance, shaping circumstance according to command. Consider two men lying down to rest. One prays for opportunity, but falls asleep, worrying that it may not come. The other closes his eyes in gratitude, expecting tomorrow's good as surely as the sunrise. Both utter words of faith, but their subconscious minds hear two opposite messages. One hears fear, the other hears confidence. One awakens to resistance, the other to ease. Such is the difference between divided desire and aligned belief. Henry Ford lived by this principle before ever naming it. He combined imagination with persistence and faith until they became a single vibration. There was no inner debate. When he declared that he would build a car for the common man, he already felt it completed. Doubt found no resting place in his mind. That is alignment, the marriage of vision and conviction. Every night before sleep, the subconscious awaits instruction. The wise use that sacred hour to harmonize themselves to tune thought and feeling. As a musician tunes his instrument, they dismiss conflict, forgive the day, and fill the inner chamber with calm expectation. Gratitude, certainty, and peace replace the noise of worry. Under such direction, the subconscious becomes a perfect worker. Each repetition strengthens the pattern. One night of alignment will soothe the mind. 1,000 nights will transform destiny. Most men waste decades rebuilding their faith each morning and undoing it each night. But the man who aligns himself daily saves years. His life becomes an unbroken rhythm of growth. Say quietly before rest, "My thoughts, emotions, and actions move as one. The law of abundance obeys my inner harmony. Every night I tune myself to the rhythm of prosperity." Let these words sink into silence. The subconscious will record them as instruction and begin construction. Thomas Edison trusted this inner workshop. He often drifted to sleep, holding a question in mind, and awoke with its solution. His conscious effort ceased, but his subconscious continued the labor. He knew that alignment between question, faith, and rest summoned intelligence from the unseen. Observe the man who lives in alignment. He does not hurry, for haste is conflict. He does not argue for certainty, speaks softly. He acts with simplicity, but his results are vast. Others feel drawn to him without knowing why. They sense a stillness in him that commands trust. He moves less yet gains more, because every motion serves a single purpose. To practice this law, begin each night with relaxation of the body and stillness of the mind. Release the day's unrest. Turn thought toward gratitude. Picture your life as already unfolding in abundance. Speak your affirmations with calm authority. Then surrender. Allow the subconscious to work without interference. Sleep becomes sacred labor. The law of alignment is the gateway to all others. Once the inner world is ordered, the outer world reflects that order. Abundance does not enter through effort, but through harmony. When your inner voice no longer argues with itself, prosperity answers without resistance. This is how a man saves 10, 20, even 30 years of wandering by ceasing to begin each morning at war within himself. As you rest tonight, imagine your mind as a clear river. Thought, emotion, and purpose flowing together. Feel no urgency, no strain, only agreement. You are no longer a seeker, you are a channel. Life moves through you in rhythm. When you awaken, you will find the world moving with you, not against you. That is the silent reward of alignment. Every man holds within him two kingdoms, the one he speaks of and the one he allows. The first is filled with words of hope, affirmation, and ambition. The second, ruled by secret belief, decides his fate. You may talk of wealth, but if your inner world whispers unworthiness, Your words are empty sounds. The subconscious obeys permission, not performance. It waits for your consent to prosper. The law of inner permission declares that no good can enter a mind that forbids it. Every man already lives in the abundance he believes himself entitled to. Some limit themselves by guilt, others by fear, others by the old superstition that to desire greatly is selfish. But the truth stands unchanged. Abundance cannot flow through the channel of self-condemnation. You must give yourself permission to prosper, not with arrogance, but with understanding that success serves all it touches. Poverty of spirit helps no one. The man who rises lifts others by his example. The man who hides his power steals from the world the good he might have done. To withhold your own growth is to refuse service to life. Andrew Carnegie began in poverty, yet felt no shame in dreaming of millions. As a boy in the steel mills, he imagined handling great sums with calm command. His subconscious accepted this permission long before his hands held gold. He walked, spoke, and planned as one accustomed to abundance. In time, opportunity merely confirmed what he already knew inwardly to be true. Contrast this with the man who says, "I am not ready. I am not educated. I am not worthy." Such words are laws to his subconscious. It does not argue. It executes. Each statement becomes a chain around potential. The worker who secretly feels unfit for wealth may toil forever, yet remain poor, for his inner law forbids advancement. Dr. Frank W. Gonzalez once desired to found a great college, but had no means. One night he decided that he would secure $1 million to build it. He granted himself full permission to believe. That permission created conviction. Conviction demanded action. Action drew the means. Within a week, the million appeared. The world calls it coincidence. Law calls it obedience. Permission is not an intellectual act. It is an emotional surrender to possibility. It is the inner yes that opens the gate. The subconscious reads emotion as command. A faint wish says nothing. A definite acceptance says all. Therefore, before sleep, replace argument with agreement. Tell your mind, "I am ready and worthy to prosper. Wealth is safe in my hands. I bless my own success and the success of others." These are not vain repetitions. They are the language of acceptance. Speak them without strain, but with quiet certainty. The subconscious will interpret them as law. Doubt is rejection, but faith is invitation. When the inner gate opens, life rushes to fill the vacuum. Observe how resistance appears in subtle forms: guilt over past errors, fear of criticism, envy of those who have succeeded. Each emotion is a guard at the gate of abundance. The guilt whispers, "You do not deserve." The envy murmurs, "You cannot handle it." The fear of judgment asks, "What will they think?" These voices must be silenced through understanding. The subconscious is innocent. It only obeys the loudest master. Replace guilt with gratitude. You are not punished by life, but prepared by it. Replace envy with admiration. To admire success in others is to invite it in yourself. Replace fear with faith, for criticism loses power over a man who knows his purpose. Every night before sleep, dismiss these trespassers from your gate. Say within, "All resistance departs. I permit myself to prosper. I am at peace with success." When permission is given, the subconscious begins reordering conditions at once. It rearranges habits, attracts allies, opens paths. You will sense it first as confidence, then as opportunity. The world around you will respond as though it had been waiting. New people, new ideas, new resources appear as if summoned by unseen order. Leaders who acted as if chosen carried this same inner certainty. Their calm was not arrogance, but recognition of law. The man who believes himself guided invites guidance. The one who expects doors to open walks through them while others knock in doubt. The world mirrors his assumption. The gates of fortune open inward. And the key is self-approval. To beg life for riches while despising yourself is to knock on a locked door with your own hand pressing against it. Lift that hand. Approve of yourself. Affirm your worth quietly until belief replaces hope. This is the step that saves decades. Most men waste half their lives seeking permission from others, employers, families, critics, society, while neglecting the only permission that matters, their own. They ask the world to authorize their greatness, forgetting that the world can only reflect what has already been granted within. Think of the time lost to hesitation, the project's never begun, the letters never written, the opportunities missed for fear of seeming too bold. Each act of self-denial costs years. But one act of inner permission redeems them all. The moment you declare, I am worthy of my purpose, your mind and destiny align. Let us return to Andrew Carnegie. When questioned about his immense success, he said simply that he surrounded himself with men greater than himself and believed he was worthy to direct them. That belief was not arrogance. It was faith in divine order. His subconscious built organization and wealth in proportion to his confidence. Had he waited for approval, he would have remained a clerk. Others will feel the difference when permission becomes your inner law. They will sense reliability in your voice, calm in your presence, steadiness in your decisions. Doubt fades in those who stand near a man sure of himself. Investors trust him. Friends confide in him. Chance favors him. The world cannot resist one who radiates silent self-approval. Do not confuse permission with vanity. Vanity demands applause. Permission requires none. It is the quiet awareness that life is meant to expand through you. It is humility in motion, knowing that your prosperity serves the whole. When the subconscious grasps this, abundance flows without guilt and generosity becomes natural. At night, while drifting to sleep, imagine yourself standing before the treasury of infinite intelligence. Picture a great door inscribed with the word abundance. Feel no hesitation. You belong here. Place your hand upon the door and open it inward. Whisper within, I am allowed to enter. Then step through in imagination. See light. Hear calm. Sense richness. Fall asleep within that vision. Each repetition deepens acceptance. The subconscious requires consistency. Speak the same message nightly until it becomes instinct. In time, you will find that prosperity no longer feels distant or uncertain. It feels inevitable. This is the great secret of the law of inner permission. The world cannot withhold what you have already accepted as yours. The subconscious will not contradict conviction. When it receives your full consent, it will marshal unseen forces to bring your reality into harmony with your belief. Every night you withhold self-condemnation, you save another year of struggle. Every day you choose self-approval over fear. You shorten the distance to success. For abundance is never delayed. It waits for you to stop refusing it. You do not need new methods, new mentors, or new miracles. You need agreement with yourself. The moment your inner world ceases to reject prosperity, prosperity must appear. Such is the fairness of law. From this night onward, practice permission. Refuse to shrink. Speak to your subconscious with calm authority. Tell it that wealth is natural, that success is safe, that joy is lawful. Let no shadow of doubt disturb your rest. Sleep in the certainty that infinite intelligence operates through you, and awaken ready to act upon the ideas it provides. When you rise, move through the world as one approved. Let your words be few but definite, your manner unhurried, your heart untroubled. The man who has granted himself permission no longer competes. He creates. He does not chase. He attracts. And to those who ask his secret, he answers with a smile. For truth needs no defense. Thus ends the second law. It is the law that ends apology and begins authority. When the mind gives consent, life obeys. And when the inner gate opens, abundance rushes in like a tide long held back by disbelief. From this point forward, there is no turning. You have allowed prosperity to find you. There are men who think correctly and act diligently, yet their lives remain barren. They study methods, chase opportunity, discipline their habits. But within them lingers a quiet emptiness, a feeling that something unseen holds them back. The cause is not ignorance nor idleness. It is emotional poverty. The mind may know the path to wealth, but unless the emotions agree, progress collapses under invisible resistance. The subconscious is not persuaded by intellect. It is moved by feeling. A single emotion felt deeply outweighs 1,000 thoughts spoken mechanically. The subconscious multiplies whatever is felt most frequently. Therefore, it is not the words "I am rich" that change a life, but the feeling of richness repeated until it becomes natural. Thought creates the plan. Emotion furnishes the power. You may speak abundance 100 times a day. But if anxiety rules your nights, you have told your subconscious that poverty still governs you. It believes the tone, not the sentence. It obeys the vibration of fear more than the words of faith. The law of emotional wealth teaches that riches are born in feeling before they appear in form. When joy, gratitude, and calm expectation are cultivated deliberately, the subconscious begins to draw their equivalents from the world. What is held emotionally within soon gathers material expression without. This is no mystery. It is law. The man who feels rich creates conditions that confirm it, just as the man who feels poor will unconsciously destroy every seed of gain that life hands him. Charles M. Schwab understood this principle more than any other industrialist of his day. He was not the most educated nor the most technical, but he was the most enthusiastic. His enthusiasm was his fortune. When he entered a room, men's hopes rose. When he spoke of work, tired laborers caught fire again. His emotion was contagious because it was genuine. His subconscious carried the vibration of success long before the figures on paper proved it. Enthusiasm, gratitude, joy, and peace are not accidents. They can be created by choice and repetition. Before sleep, when the conscious mind grows still, fill the inner chamber with emotions of wealth. Remember all that is good, however small. Let gratitude swell until the heart grows warm. This is the vibration the subconscious reads as abundance. It will reproduce it outwardly through events, encounters, and ideas. To feel rich before being rich is the shortcut that saves decades. Most men wait for fortune to deliver the feeling of security, and so they spend half their lives preparing and half regretting. But those who learn to feel wealth without evidence build wealth quickly, for they instruct the subconscious to act as if the goal were already attained. Faith shortens time. Consider Henry Ford when his plant burned to the ground. Others wept. He smiled. "We can build a better one," he said, already envisioning improvement. His calm gratitude amid loss was not foolishness, but mastery. His subconscious, unshaken by panic, immediately sought creative solutions. The very fire that ruined his property cleared the way for expansion. Thus, emotion, rightly directed, turned ruin into renewal. Contrast this with the man who curses his misfortune. He fills his nights with bitterness, and the subconscious, mistaking feeling for command, produces more reasons to resent. His tongue speaks failure into existence. His face carries strain, and his associates drift away from the heaviness of his presence. Emotional poverty repels opportunities as surely as emotional wealth attracts them. You must therefore become a steward of your feelings. Guard them as you would guard your fortune. Each emotion is an investment of energy that yields compound results. Anger spent today may cost prosperity tomorrow. Gratitude sown tonight may bloom as opportunity next week. Feel deliberately. Do not leave your inner atmosphere to chance. Begin with the simplest exercise of wealth, gratitude. Each night before drifting into sleep, recount silently the blessings of the day. Do not dismiss them as small. The breath in your lungs, the roof above you, the mind that can think and feel. All are evidence of abundance already present. As gratitude deepens, it transforms fear into security, scarcity into sufficiency. The subconscious sensing satisfaction multiplies the cause. Next, cultivate calm expectation. Gratitude looks back. Expectation looks forward. Say quietly, "Tomorrow abundance unfolds before me." Picture yourself meeting right people, speaking right words, receiving right ideas. Feel the joy of anticipation. Then rest. The subconscious will use the hours of darkness to arrange circumstances matching your feeling. Include also joy, that rare emotion of complete agreement with life. Joy is not noise. It is quiet confidence that all is well. Train your mind to find it not in results, but in process. Joy says, "I am rich now, not later." When this tone fills the subconscious, even small victories feel large, and large ones arrive sooner. Add these affirmations to your nightly practice. Gratitude fills my heart. Abundance fills my life. My emotions are allies of my purpose. Every night I feel the richness of life expanding through me. Repeat them with emotion, not haste. Let the meaning sink deeper with each breath. The subconscious accepts conviction, not volume. When emotional wealth becomes habit, you will notice subtle changes. Your posture straightens, your tone warms, your decisions simplify. Others will sense composure in you. They will trust your calm, consult your opinion, invite your presence. Prosperity is drawn to those who radiate assurance. Emotion governs magnetism. A cheerful man carries a silent advertisement that says, "I am safe to trust." A fearful man announces danger even when he is silent. Those who operate under the law of emotional wealth understand this. They cultivate serenity not to impress others, but to communicate safety to the universe. Peace of mind is the highest currency. Without it, riches are burden. With it, poverty cannot last. The subconscious builds more of what it feels. Train it nightly to feel wealth until that feeling becomes the default state. This is the secret that turns effort into ease. You no longer strive for abundance. You express it. Think of your emotions as the climate of your inner world. Just as certain crops cannot grow in winter, prosperity cannot grow in an atmosphere of fear. Warm your subconscious with faith, and you create an eternal spring where opportunities germinate of their own accord. Emotion must also be disciplined. It is not enough to feel joy when things go well. You must maintain it when appearances contradict desire. The subconscious does not judge by circumstance. It judges by consistency. If you can remain calm in delay, hopeful in uncertainty, and grateful in trial, you prove to the inner mind that abundance is your permanent state. Then even adversity becomes servant. Every act of emotional mastery saves years of wandering. The average man wastes half his life reacting to conditions rather than commanding them. He allows moods to govern him, so fortune must govern him as well. But the man who governs his moods governs his destiny. To keep his inner atmosphere bright when storms arise is to shorten the road to every goal. When emotional wealth is complete, results follow effortlessly. Business flows smoothly. Health improves. Friends appear in alignment with purpose. The world rearranges itself to mirror your inner serenity. You will hear others say, "Everything you touch seems to work," unaware that it is not luck, but law. Guard especially against the silent thieves of emotion, comparison and complaint. Comparison kills gratitude. Complaint magnifies lack. Each time you envy, you declare insufficiency. Each time you complain, you reaffirm scarcity. Train yourself to admire, not covet, to bless, not criticize. The subconscious reads admiration as kinship with success and arranges connections accordingly. Practice this each night. Before sleep, recall 3 things admired in others and 3 blessings received in yourself. Let admiration and gratitude mingle until the boundary between self and others fades. In that unity lies the vibration of abundance. For abundance knows no competition. It flows to all who allow it. Emotional wealth does not mean denial of pain. It means refusal to make pain your master. A man may suffer loss and still maintain faith. He may weep but not despair. His subconscious reads this as strength and rebuilds swiftly. Many fortunes have been born from ruin simply because one man refused to surrender his peace. Let your final thought before rest be one of fullness. Say quietly, "I am complete. Nothing is missing. All that I seek is within me now." These words are not fantasy. They are instruction. The subconscious, taking them as fact, will proceed to display their truth in waking life. Over time, emotional wealth becomes nature. You wake with confidence, move with calm, speak with conviction. Others feel enriched in your presence. Even silence becomes persuasive, for it carries the rhythm of certainty. The world responds by offering you roles of leadership, trust, and influence. The law of emotional wealth is the great equalizer. It requires no inheritance, no education, no advantage. It only demands mastery of feeling. Once mastered, the years spent in struggle fall away. What others learn through failure, you learn through faith. To summarize its essence, thought creates direction, but emotion provides propulsion. Gratitude fuels the engine, joy steadies the wheel, faith lights the road. Without them, the mind drifts. With them, every idea gains motion and every plan gains favor. Remember always, life pays the man who feels rich. The more he gives thanks, the more he receives. The more he expects good, the more good hastens to appear. The more he blesses others' success, the more his own multiplies. Emotion is the invisible hand of destiny, forever writing in the ledger of the subconscious. Therefore, as you rest tonight, cease analyzing and begin feeling. Let abundance move from concept to sensation. Feel it in your heartbeat, your breath, your calm certainty. Allow it to settle so deeply that even in dreams you are prosperous. Then when dawn returns, you will carry that tone into action, and every step will confirm it. This is how one saves 20 years of wandering, by learning to feel rich now. For he who feels abundance possesses it already in seed form. And that seed, nurtured nightly, must one day grow into visible wealth. The emotion precedes the evidence. The feeling becomes the fact. The man who has learned this law walks in quiet majesty. He no longer begs, pleads, or fears. His mind is tranquil, his heart generous, his fortune certain. Where he goes, life follows gladly, for he has become one with its rhythm. That is emotional wealth, the living current of abundance made flesh. There is a higher order of abundance than mere attraction. Attraction waits for opportunity. Command creates it. Attraction hopes, command knows. The law of creative command is the principle through which the subconscious becomes not just a receiver of impressions, but a builder of realities. Thought, emotion, and faith form the trinity of creation. Together, they speak the language the subconscious understands as law. Every man possesses creative power, but only few exercise it deliberately. Most scatter it in fear and indecision. The mind, left ungoverned, drifts among half-formed images, contradicting itself each hour. The subconscious, receiving these mixed signals, produces mixed results. Success followed by failure, advancement followed by decline. The man who masters this law learns to speak to his mind as a king to his counsel, calm, definite, unhurried, and absolute. The creative faculty of man is imagination charged with faith. Imagination gives form, faith gives substance. When both unite under definite purpose, infinite intelligence responds through the subconscious as surely as the tide answers the moon. This is not speculation. It is law. The world has always been shaped first in thought, then in steel, stone, and circumstance. Thomas Edison embodied creative command. He saw the light long before the filament glowed. In his inner vision, darkness had already yielded to brightness. The mechanics were merely the bridge between the unseen idea and its material expression. The same law that carried his thought into invention works through every listener tonight. The subconscious is no respecter of names. It obeys whoever gives it a clear blueprint accompanied by belief. Observe how most men destroy their own blueprints. They picture one goal today, abandon it tomorrow, and replace it with another next week. The subconscious, bewildered, ceases construction. It waits for stability. A builder cannot lay foundation for a house whose design changes hourly. Creative command requires persistence of vision, the steady holding of one image until reality conforms. This is why the mind must never argue with its creation. Doubt is demolition. A single night of uncertainty can undo months of patient construction. Once a command is given, withdraw from anxiety about method or timing. That concern belongs not to you, but to infinite intelligence working through the subconscious. The architect draws plans. The builder handles materials. Your duty is conception. Law performs execution. Begin each night with the sacred act of visualization. Close the eyes, not in weariness, but in dominion. Picture the life desired in detail, not as wish, but as fact. See yourself already in possession of that which you seek, the home, the business, the peace, the influence. Observe it vividly until you feel its reality. Feeling seals the image to the subconscious. Then speak the command once, clearly and with finality. This is now mine in divine order. Do not plead or repeat. Pleading implies uncertainty. Repetition without faith confuses. State as though signing a decree. The subconscious, hearing tone and conviction, accepts it as order. Fall asleep in certainty, not hope. Hope waits. Faith acts. Say to yourself quietly, my mind commands, life obeys. My vision is law to my subconscious. I create with calm authority. The man who practices this nightly begins to notice swift and precise changes. He awakens with ideas that fit his goal exactly. He meets people who provide needed means. He hears sentences, reads lines, sees opportunities that align with his vision. Nothing is accidental. Law is merely fulfilling the design impressed upon it. King C. Gillette lived by this law. For years, he carried the idea of a simple, safe razor in his mind. Experts laughed. Manufacturers refused. Yet he held to his inner image. He never begged the world to agree. He commanded his subconscious to persist. In time, metal obeyed imagination, and fortune followed faith. That is creative command, the endurance of an image until matter yields to mind. Creative command differs from ambition. Ambition strains. Command directs. Ambition shouts. Command speaks softly. The ambitious man battles circumstance. The commanding man instructs it. To master this law, you must eliminate urgency. Urgency tells the subconscious that supply is scarce. Calm tells it that abundance is certain. The former repels, the latter attracts. Practice this composure deliberately. When faced with problems, close your eyes briefly and reaffirm your authority. The same power that made the stars now moves through my mind. I am not subject to chance. I am partner with law. Feel peace spreading through the body. Let no disturbance enter. In this stillness, creative solutions emerge without struggle. The subconscious is a perfect servant, but it cannot serve two masters. It will not build prosperity by night if you build fear by day. Therefore, discipline thought throughout waking hours. Speak no word contrary to your command. Do not discuss difficulty. Discuss completion. Do not magnify delay. Affirm order. Every complaint sends conflicting instruction to the mind that labors for you. A man of creative command appears different to others. His presence carries assurance. His voice carries finality. He seldom argues or persuades. He declares and proceeds. Those around him feel guided, not forced. They sense the power of definiteness, a power that makes cooperation effortless. The universe assists those who assist it through unwavering thought. Imagine two generals planning a campaign. One issues contradictory orders, changing plans with every rumor. The other states one clear objective and advances calmly. Which army wins? The subconscious is that army. It marches only for the leader who knows where he is going. To strengthen this habit, adopt a nightly ritual of review. Before sleep, recall every idle word, every fearful thought spoken that day. Mentally cancel them with this decree. Only my constructive commands remain. All else is erased. Then repeat your chief image once more and surrender it to rest. In time, this practice will make your inner world a disciplined kingdom where every thought serves the crown of purpose. Remember also that imagination must be coupled with faith. Imagination without belief is daydream. Belief without imagination is blindness. Together they form sight. When faith and image unite, the subconscious receives a complete pattern. Feeling for motive power, picture for guidance, conviction for stability. Infinite intelligence takes this combination as instruction and molds reality accordingly. Never concern yourself with means. The how is not your domain. The subconscious arranges connections invisible to conscious reasoning. It alters habits, magnetizes people, rearranges circumstance. Your part is to supply the cause. Law supplies the effect. To question process is to doubt power. Be patient. Every creation passes through stages unseen. The seed does not sprout the moment it is planted. So too must ideas gestate. The subconscious builds quietly beneath the surface until form appears. To demand immediate evidence is to uproot the seed before it grows. Say to yourself often, divine timing governs my results. I rest in perfect order. Creative command also demands purity of motive. Law will magnify whatever image you hold, whether good or evil. Use your creative power for uplift, not harm. Desire success for service, as well as satisfaction. The man who creates for the good of all aligns his command with infinite intelligence, and such alignment ensures endurance. What is built in selfishness decays. What is built in service stands forever. Do not underestimate the power of nightly repetition. The subconscious learns by rhythm. Each evening, your calm assertion that my vision is law strengthens authority. Soon the inner world accepts no contradiction. Stray thoughts of fear or limitation are dismissed automatically, like soldiers saluting their superior. As you continue, creative energy increases. You will sense it as vitality in the body, clarity in the mind, confidence in speech. Others will remark on your decisiveness. They will ask for your opinion, defer to your judgment, follow your lead. This is natural. Power attracts recognition as fragrance attracts attention. Do not boast of this mastery. The silent worker is always the most effective. Speak of law only through demonstration. Let results be your testimony. The world honors certainty, but distrusts noise. A whisper from conviction outweighs a shout from doubt. When you reach the state where your command feels effortless, where faith replaces tension, you have entered creative partnership with infinite intelligence. From that moment forward, ideas flow as water flows downhill without resistance, by natural law. You will save decades of blind striving. For every hour spent in alignment and faith replaces years of confused labor. This is the difference between struggle and creation. The struggler believes results come from sweat alone. The creator knows they come from thought rightly directed. Struggle is the labor of uncertainty. Creation is the expression of law. The first depletes energy. The second multiplies it. Before rest tonight, review your chief purpose. Picture it again with precision. Then, in a tone of quiet authority, speak once to the unseen. Infinite intelligence within, build this in perfect order. I trust your process. I rest in certainty. Then let sleep carry your command deeper. You need not awaken with strain. The subconscious never sleeps. It continues construction as you dream. When morning comes, rise without doubt. Move through your tasks as though guided, for you are. Each action, each meeting, each coincidence will reveal the invisible builder at work. Give thanks silently for its accuracy. Gratitude is the payment that secures continued service. One day you will look upon your achievements and realize they match exactly the images you once held in faith. You will understand that nothing came by accident. Every success was first a command, every opportunity first an image, every fortune first a feeling. The world merely obeyed your inner decree. Thus, the law of creative command is the crown of mastery. It transforms man from beggar to builder, from seeker to source. When the subconscious accepts your direction, it calls upon the limitless intelligence of the universe to carry out your plan. Thought becomes substance, faith becomes fact, vision becomes visible. Speak no longer as one hoping, but as one knowing. Say not, I will be, but I am. For creation begins in present certainty. As you fall asleep tonight, know that your every image held in faith and feeling is a seed of reality, taking root in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Tend it with patience, water it with gratitude, and guard it from doubt. Its harvest is inevitable. From this point forward, do not chase abundance. Command it not by arrogance, but by authority born of understanding. You and the law are not separate. You are the voice through which law speaks, the hand through which it acts. And as long as you issue commands in faith and peace, the universe will move to obey. This is how the great saved 30 years of blind toil by ceasing to wish and beginning to direct. For creation is not future, it is present. Abundance does not come, it unfolds, and the man who commands his mind commands the world. There is a cleansing every man must undergo before abundance can become permanent. For prosperity built upon confusion collapses, success born of resentment decays, and wealth surrounded by guilt turns to dust in the hands. The law of inner purity teaches that abundance is sustained only in a heart free from envy, hatred, guilt, and fear. It is not enough to think richly. You must feel cleanly. The subconscious cannot serve two masters. It cannot hold gratitude and bitterness at the same time. It cannot build prosperity while secretly obeying the emotions that destroy it. When a man fills his heart with resentment, the subconscious records hostility as instruction and begins to create circumstances to justify it. Thus, he meets betrayal because he expects it, loss because he fears it, and disappointment because he rehearses it. Abundance requires an inner house swept clean. Thought may design and faith may ignite, but only purity preserves. It is purity that keeps power from corruption and gain from guilt. Without it, the mind pollutes its own supply. Therefore, each night before sleep, a man must wash his mind of the day's emotional dust, of envy, self-condemnation, and lingering resentment, so that the subconscious receives no poison with its nightly command. Elbert Hubbard learned this lesson through hardship. Rejected by publishers, mocked by friends, and forced into solitude, he transformed bitterness into independence. He decided that rejection was his liberation, not his defeat. The same insult that might have turned another man cold became in him the fuel of creativity. His subconscious, cleansed of resentment, translated pain into product. This is the difference between failure that hardens and failure that refines. Envy is the first enemy of abundance. It is a silent confession of inferiority. It whispers to the subconscious, "Others deserve more than I." Each time you compare, you declare lack. The subconscious, obedient to your tone, preserves that condition. To admire success in another, however, is to announce kinship with it. Admiration teaches the subconscious that wealth is near, friendly, and attainable. Envy pushes it away. Admiration invites it home. Guilt is the second enemy. It tells the subconscious, "I do not deserve." Whether for past mistakes, neglected chances, or perceived unworthiness, guilt instructs the mind to reject good. The law cannot deliver what you forbid. The remedy is forgiveness, first of self, then of others. Say before sleep, "I forgive all, including myself. I release all wrongs, real or imagined." The subconscious will interpret forgiveness as permission and begin to repair what guilt destroyed. The third pollutant is resentment. To resent another is to bind yourself to him in spirit and to keep alive what should be forgotten. The subconscious replays the emotion like a song stuck on a broken record, draining energy from creative thought. Replace resentment with understanding. Realize that every man acts according to his belief at the moment. To forgive is to rise above the level of injury. Fear is the last impurity and the most deceptive. It disguises itself as caution, prudence, even modesty. But all fear, when unchecked, instructs the subconscious to reduce, to hide, to retreat. It is the great shrinker of destiny. To cleanse fear, affirm peace. Remind yourself nightly, only faith and goodwill dwell in me. My subconscious is pure, therefore my life is abundant. Such words, repeated with calm, transform the very chemistry of the mind. The practice of nightly cleansing is sacred. Before sleep, close your eyes and review the day. Recall moments of irritation, jealousy, or guilt. See them as smoke rising, leaving no trace behind. Bless those who offended you. Bless even those who prospered where you failed. As you bless, you loosen the hold of negative energy. The subconscious cannot bear impurity. It longs for release. When you grant forgiveness, you allow it to breathe again. To live by this law is to appear before life unarmed. You need not defend yourself with bitterness or pride. The pure man has no enemy within. He moves through difficulty unscarred because he carries no hidden conflict. Others sense this peace. They trust him instinctively. Sincerity becomes his shield. Goodwill becomes his protection. Remember that unclean thought is the most expensive indulgence known to man. It costs years of progress, poisons friendships, and clouds opportunity. Many men have built fortunes only to lose them because guilt whispered, "You do not deserve to keep it." Others have climbed to power only to fall, for resentment gnawed silently at the base of their confidence. But the man who purifies his mind each night remains untouched by corruption. Purity is not weakness. It is clarity. It does not mean ignoring wrong, but refusing to multiply it through hatred. It is strength without violence, power without pride. To the pure in heart, abundance is natural because nothing obstructs its flow. Prosperity is the mirror of inward peace. Think of your mind as a clear pool. When envy, guilt, and anger fall into it, the water becomes cloudy. You can no longer see truth beneath the surface. But when forgiveness and gratitude enter, the water clears. You begin to see reflections of possibilities once hidden. The subconscious draws upon that clarity to design solutions and to guide you through unseen channels toward good. The man of purity gains calm power that others mistake for luck. Investors trust him because he radiates integrity. Workers follow him because they sense fairness. Friends remain loyal because his mind offers no hidden agenda. The subconscious, unburdened by hypocrisy, communicates sincerity through every gesture. His presence alone heals discord. Each night, renew this inner cleanliness. Imagine your mind as a temple. Sweep it with gratitude. Light it with faith. Close its doors to hatred. Rest within it, knowing that infinite intelligence inhabits the pure heart gladly. Say softly, "Peace abides in me. No shadow may dwell here. All who enter my mind find goodwill." The subconscious, hearing these words, constructs harmony as its natural state. Observe how swiftly results follow purification. Problems that seemed fixed dissolve. Arguments end without explanation. Health improves, for the body mirrors the mind's order. Financial doors reopen not by miracle, but by removal of interference. The law never withholds. Man only blocks. When the inner channel clears, supply rushes in like water released from a dam. Let no man think that purity belongs only to saints. It is the daily discipline of kings. It is not emotion but decision, a choice to elevate thought each time resentment returns. The test of mastery is not that you never feel anger, but that you refuse to let it linger. To feel and forgive swiftly is the art of the prosperous. When purity becomes habit, abundance becomes continuous. Effort turns graceful. Labor feels lighter. The subconscious, unopposed, works freely. You will find yourself meeting right people, choosing right ventures, speaking right words. What once required calculation now unfolds naturally. For purity aligns you with the rhythm of infinite intelligence. Elbert Hubbard once said that the only thing worse than failure is success unappreciated. Purity ensures appreciation. It keeps the soul humble amid victory, grateful amid growth. The pure heart neither boasts nor fears. It simply receives and gives in equal measure. To test your progress, observe how quickly you recover from disturbance. The pure mind rebounds instantly, for it clings to no injury. The impure broods for days. The measure of wealth is not absence of trouble, but the speed of return to peace. Practice swift restoration, and the years you save will astonish you. When resentment arises, ask yourself, would I trade my peace for this thought? The answer will always be no. Then release it. When guilt whispers, answer, the past has paid its debt. When envy tempts, reply, their success confirms the law that serves me too. Each act of purification strengthens dominion over the inner kingdom. Imagine before sleep that you stand beneath a quiet waterfall of light. Let it pour over you, washing away every shadow. Feel relief as regret, envy, and fear dissolve into nothingness. Whisper, only love remains. Fall asleep under that vision. The subconscious will treat it as instruction and awaken you cleansed. This law saves lifetimes. Without it, a man repeats his lessons through pain. With it, he learns through understanding. The same force that once punished through circumstance now teaches through insight. The subconscious no longer sends hardship as correction because the correction has been accepted inwardly. Let every act tomorrow express purity. Speak truth without cruelty. Give without expectation and accept without fear. As you do, the subconscious records these as permanent laws of character. They become automatic responses to life. You will notice that conflict seldom finds you, and when it does, it departs swiftly, unable to attach itself to a clean mind. Purity transforms even failure into service. The pure man never sees defeat as personal. He reads it as refinement. He knows that law never punishes. It adjusts. Therefore, he meets correction with gratitude, learning swiftly what others learn slowly. His subconscious interprets every event as progress. Such a mind cannot be broken, for it cannot be deceived. Ultimately, purity is alignment with truth. When you forgive, admire, bless, and release, you harmonize with the rhythm of creation itself. That rhythm knows no scarcity, no hostility, no guilt. It is abundance expressed as peace. To live in that state is to live above chance, beyond conflict, within the eternal current of success. Tonight, before you sleep, remind yourself, I am pure in thought and clean in heart. My emotions serve creation, not destruction. Abundance flows through me freely and blesses all it touches. Feel these words. Let their vibration replace every trace of resistance. Rest in the certainty that the law now works unopposed, and when morning comes, do not seek proof. Walk in calm assurance. Your peace will testify. Others will feel it before you speak. They will sense something rare. Trustworthiness, serenity, quiet strength. They may not name it purity, but their hearts will recognize it. They will be drawn as rivers are drawn to the sea. Thus, the law of inner purity stands as the guardian of abundance. It protects the treasure already built by alignment, permission, emotion, and command. Without it, fortune fades. With it, prosperity becomes eternal. The man who keeps his mind clear keeps his kingdom secure. In the silence of the night, repeat once more. Nothing unclean remains in me. My heart forgives, my mind releases, my soul is light. The law of good flows freely. Then let sleep take you as peace itself. For the pure man need not seek abundance. He is abundance purified. There is a moment in the journey of every awakened man when he must decide whether abundance will remain a visitor or become a permanent resident. Many rise for a time only to fall again because they treat prosperity as an event instead of a rhythm. The law of unbroken abundance teaches that true wealth is continuity, the ceaseless calm flow of supply through mind, purpose, and service. It is not gained once and held by force. It is maintained by rhythm and faith. The subconscious mind, like a great river, will flow wherever the channels of thought lead it. If those channels are clear and constant, abundance becomes self-sustaining. But if fear, doubt, or neglect interrupt its current, the flow slows to a trickle. To live in unbroken abundance, one must keep those channels open through daily gratitude, right use, and the giving of good. Understand this truth. Abundance is circulation. The miser who hoards violates law and soon finds his treasure turned to burden. The prodigal who wastes also breaks rhythm and suffers lack. But the man who gives wisely and receives gratefully becomes part of an endless exchange. What flows through him cannot stagnate. Life increases whatever it can move through. George Eastman embodied this principle. Long before his name became known, he practiced quiet generosity. He gave education to others, built institutions of art, and financed opportunity. Money obeyed him because he never chained it. His giving was not loss. It was investment in harmony with the law of increase. He proved that when a man serves the world conspires to serve him. To sustain unbroken abundance, begin each day with gratitude and end it with faith. Gratitude opens the channel in the morning. Faith keeps it flowing at night. Say upon waking, abundance flows through me ceaselessly. I receive with joy and give with wisdom. Say before sleep, nothing is lost. All returns multiplied. These sentences train the subconscious to view life as a continual exchange, not a series of shortages and surpluses. Remember that abundance fades when man grows afraid. Fear of loss is spiritual theft. It robs the mind of its inheritance. The instant you fear losing what you have, you tell your subconscious that supply is uncertain. The law responds by fulfilling your belief, reducing inflow to match your expectation. To break this cycle, affirm often, law has not changed. Therefore, I remain secure. Abundance flows whether I fear or not. I choose faith. Faith is the eternal rhythm of success. It is the heartbeat of unbroken wealth. The man who maintains it through delay and difficulty never truly loses. He may shift, adapt, or rebuild, but his flow remains. He sees setbacks as adjustments, not endings. He understands that infinite intelligence has no waste. It merely rearranges material to serve new purposes. To hold this state is to live beyond anxiety. Anxiety is interruption, the pulling of energy from flow to friction. The anxious man asks, will it continue? The faithful man says, it already has. In this conviction lies rest, and rest, more than strain, is the secret of renewal. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You must stay connected to the source. To strengthen your connection, practice the art of stillness each night. After the day's work, sit in quiet and feel abundance as presence. Imagine your mind and body glowing with steady vitality, like a lamp drawing current from an unseen generator. Whisper, this current never ceases. It flows through me in peace and order. Feel the truth of it until your entire being vibrates with calm assurance. Sleep will then deepen, and the subconscious will maintain the flow as you rest. Unbroken abundance also demands right use of gain. The subconscious cannot bless misuse. When wealth serves ego, it decays. When it serves purpose, it multiplies. Each dollar, each opportunity carries moral weight. Spend to build, not to boast. Give to strengthen, not to dominate. Save to secure, not to fear. These distinctions shape vibration more than numbers. Remember, you are custodian, not owner. Ownership breeds anxiety. Stewardship breeds peace. The subconscious responds to stewardship by generating trust and opportunity. It knows you are safe with increase. The man who lives this truth never needs to chase. The supply he manages well will seek him endlessly. Unbroken abundance expresses itself as serenity under all conditions. You will know you have mastered this law when crisis no longer shakes your composure. Storms may come, but they find no foothold in you. You do not deny difficulty. You rise above its vibration. This calm is not indifference. It is awareness that law cannot fail. The world might change, but its governing intelligence remains constant, and that constancy sustains you. Observe nature and see this principle everywhere. The tide withdraws only to return. The tree sheds leaves only to bloom again. Life's rhythm is expansion, contraction, renewal. To resist these cycles is to suffer. To trust them is to prosper. Unbroken abundance is not constant increase in form, but constant faith through form's change. Most men interrupt their flow through worry about appearances. When times seem prosperous, they relax. When times appear lean, they contract. Thus, their vibration wavers, and the subconscious mirrors the inconsistency. But the wise maintain a single tone of faith through all seasons. He blesses increase and blesses reduction, for both are part of the same rhythm. To remain steady, you must master the art of remembrance. Each time fear rises, recall your past deliverance. Remind yourself that law provided before and will again. The subconscious thrives on familiarity. Give it memories of triumph to feed upon. Let gratitude for yesterday become assurance for tomorrow. The truly rich man does not measure abundance by possessions, but by peace. He may hold vast estates or nothing at all, yet his tone remains identical. He has made wealth a state of consciousness, not a condition of account. The world senses this equality and entrusts him with more. For law knows that what he receives will circulate, not stagnate. To live in unbroken abundance, make generosity your habit. Give when inspired, not for display, but for flow. The hand that opens to give cannot close in fear. What leaves your grasp returns multiplied, purified by service. This is no superstition, but cosmic accounting. The ledger of infinite intelligence never forgets a good deed sincerely performed. Service anchors prosperity. When your motive includes the benefit of others, you align with law's own motive, the expansion of life. Infinite intelligence increases through you as you help others to rise. In such alignment, supply becomes self-replenishing. You are no longer drawing from limited store, but but from the source itself. The man who practices this law soon radiates an aura of quiet wealth even before fortune appears. His movements are deliberate, his eyes calm, his speech considered. People sense in him a hidden certainty. They call it charisma or luck, but it is simply harmony with the unseen rhythm of abundance. The subconscious, trained in continuity, projects security into every gesture. Never forget, interruption begins within. The external world can only reflect what the inner world maintains. If you lose calm, you lose flow. But if you guard inner peace, even loss becomes a bridge to greater gain. The subconscious, loyal beyond measure, will rebuild whatever circumstance disturbs, provided you hold faith unbroken. At night, reaffirm this truth. My prosperity blesses all it touches. Abundance flows through me endlessly. What I give returns increased. What I share multiplies. What I release purifies. Speak these words slowly until their meaning fills you. The subconscious records them as laws of continuity, and each day becomes extension of the last, not contradiction. Some will ask, is it possible to live without interruption? The answer is yes, for interruption is only the illusion of divided thought. The law never breaks, only our belief in it does. Once faith becomes constant, abundance follows without pause. The master of this law feels no gap between need and supply, dream and realization. He lives in the eternal present where all things already exist in essence. This unbroken state cannot be maintained through strain. Strain belongs to the consciousness of lack. Unbroken abundance is gentle, rhythmic, and confident. Its secret is relaxation and faith, not exertion and fear. The river does not fight to flow. It simply follows gravity's call. Let your mind rest in the gravity of infinite intelligence. This law also governs time. A man aligned with rhythm accomplishes in 10 years what another accomplishes in 30. Why? Because he wastes no energy in anxiety, no effort in reversal. His subconscious never sleeps in confusion. It continues building through every hour. Each success compounds the last, creating acceleration that appears miraculous. Yet it is only harmony sustained. As your practice deepens, you will feel abundance not as possession, but as atmosphere. It will surround you, speak through you, and attract to you everything needed for your purpose. Those around you will feel it as reassurance, as if life itself grows easier in your presence. You will save others years simply by being steady, for stability inspires faith in the uncertain. There will be days when you are tempted to question the flow, when delays mock your patience, or losses test your courage. In such hours, repeat quietly, "The law has not changed. My source is not circumstance. I remain within the rhythm of abundance." These words restore harmony as tuning restores a string. The slightest return to faith reopens the current. At last, you will discover that abundance is not something you maintain. It is something that maintains you. Once faith becomes habit, the subconscious takes over as guardian. It will alert you when thought drifts toward lack, gently correcting your tone. You will no longer need discipline. You will have become discipline embodied. This is the final mastery of wealth, unbroken connection with source. You cease to think of abundance as reward or goal. It becomes your natural condition like breathing. Giving and receiving merge into one movement. You rest in certainty not because fortune surrounds you, but because infinite intelligence flows through you. And in this rest, you realize the greatest secret of all, that you were never meant to struggle for prosperity, only to align with it. Abundance is not pursuit, but participation. When you cease to argue with it, it ceases to argue with you. When you allow it to flow through you without fear or vanity, it becomes eternal. As you close your eyes tonight, let the final affirmation seal your mind. I am abundance itself. I rest in its rhythm. It moves through me now and forever. Feel these words vibrate through every cell. Just let them dissolve the last boundary between you and supply. Sleep as though the universe breathes with you, for it does. From this night forward, abundance shall not visit. You shall live within it. The flow you once sought outside now arises from within, unbroken, eternal, and free. You have entered the state where wealth is not earned but expressed, where life itself becomes generosity, and every breath testifies to the fullness of law. For the man who governs his subconscious through alignment, permission, emotion, creation, purity, and faith, there are no lost years, no dry seasons, no barren days, only the everlasting rhythm of unbroken abundance. And that rhythm once found is the sound of life itself fulfilling its own promise. You have now walked through the 6 gates of abundance: alignment, permission, emotion, creation, purity, and rhythm. Each law has reshaped the secret order of your mind. Yes, each night of listening has built in you what years of striving could not. But the work is not ended. It has only reached the point where effort turns into ease, where the labor of becoming gives way to the peace of being. There comes a time in every man's pursuit of success when he must stop chasing and begin receiving. The moment he realizes that what he has been seeking was not outside him, but within. The long journey turns inward. This is the great return to source. Here the conscious mind no longer commands by force, but listens by faith. The struggle to achieve gives way to quiet certainty that all things move toward him who moves in harmony with law. The greatest of all achievements is not the gathering of riches, but the mastery of peace. Peace is the highest proof of abundance. It is the evidence that a man has met himself, forgiven himself, and accepted the law as his permanent companion. Without peace, gold turns to weight and power becomes burden. With peace, even modest means become treasure, for they serve without enslaving. Infinite intelligence is not a faraway deity. It is the quiet pulse behind every heartbeat, the wisdom within every inspired thought, the life that fills every breath. You have felt it each night as you listened and surrendered. It worked through your faith, shaped your emotions, and reordered your habits. You may call it by any name you wish: law, God, the universal mind, but its nature is abundance, and its will is increase. When a man aligns with this power, his life begins to echo its rhythm. His actions no longer come from haste, but from inspiration. His words carry conviction without noise. His presence calms others because he has ceased to resist himself. This is the state of pure abundance, the quiet majesty of one who has made peace with the unseen forces of creation. Look closely at the path you have taken. In the beginning, your thoughts were scattered. You desired yet doubted. You spoke faith yet felt fear. You dreamed of wealth while sleeping in worry. Your subconscious, confused by contradiction, obeyed both voices and gave you a life of divided results. But as you practiced these laws, the inner noise softened. Thought began to agree with feeling, and feeling began to agree with purpose. The tide turned within long before the world could see the change. The law of alignment taught you that harmony is power. The law of permission taught you that worthiness opens the gate. The law of emotion taught you that feeling builds form. The law of creation taught you that imagination commands substance. The law of purity taught you to keep the channel clear. And the law of rhythm taught you to make the flow unending. Together, they form the architecture of abundance, each law a pillar supporting the temple of success. Now, as this temple stands complete within you, you must learn to dwell in it consciously. To live abundance is not to repeat affirmations endlessly, but to carry its peace into every hour. The subconscious has been trained. Now, the conscious mind must reflect it. Your thoughts by day must match your certainty by night. Speak with confidence, act with calm, and let no outer storm shake the inner sanctuary you have built. Abundance is not a performance. It is remembrance. The moment you forget your connection to Source, fear returns. The moment you remember it, peace resumes. The wise man learns to shorten the distance between forgetting and remembering until they are one breath apart. That is mastery. When fear whispers that prosperity may fade, smile gently and say, "Law has not changed." When loss knocks upon your door, say, "Only form has shifted. The substance remains." When delay mocks your patience, affirm, "Time is my servant, not my master." Every declaration of faith fortifies the subconscious fortress you have constructed. Each time you restate your certainty, you deepen your union with law. Think of those who will meet you now. They will not understand what has changed, yet they will feel it. They will trust you more, listen longer, follow willingly. They will say, "You seem different, calmer, stronger, certain." That is because abundance radiates silently. It does not boast. It blesses. The energy of definiteness cannot be hidden. It is seen in the eyes, heard in the tone, felt in the atmosphere of your presence. This is how great leaders have always ruled. Through quiet command of vibration, not through noise. Andrew Carnegie's steel empire, Ford's vision, Edison's inventions, Schwab's influence, all were extensions of an inner certainty that could not be shaken by public doubt. Their subconscious minds had been trained to obey their conviction, and thus the outer world fell into place around their inner picture. Your world will now do the same. Expect no thunder, no spectacle, no instant miracle. Expect quiet rearrangement. Expect old doors to close gracefully and new ones to open naturally. Expect coincidences that are too precise to be chance. Expect ideas to arise unbidden, meetings to align perfectly, and obstacles to dissolve before your calm. This is how law reveals its loyalty, not through noise, but through order. Do not make the mistake of thinking your progress is complete. Law demands maintenance, not obsession. The subconscious, once cleansed and ordered, must be kept so. Continue nightly alignment. Continue gratitude. Continue forgiveness. Continue faith. Repetition does not imprison. It liberates. It makes your new rhythm permanent until abundance becomes your natural climate. The years you have saved by this understanding are beyond calculation. Most men spend half a lifetime learning that they cannot bend the world by force. They labor against conditions instead of commanding the cause. They grow tired, bitter, and resigned. You have leaped past that stage. You have learned in weeks what others discover only in exhaustion. That the true battle is internal, and victory is won in silence. To those who doubt these teachings, do not argue. Argument wastes energy. Demonstration converts it. Let your results answer for you. Let your peace confound the restless. Let your success awaken curiosity rather than pride. In time, those who laughed will come seeking your counsel, and you will teach them not through words, but through the serenity of your being. Abundance demands humility. Pride closes the channel it opened. Always remember the source from which your strength flows. Acknowledge it daily. Bow in gratitude, not to flatter heaven, but to maintain awareness of partnership. You and infinite intelligence are co-creators. One supplies form, the other supplies force. Forget either, and imbalance begins. Be generous with what you have learned. Share principles freely but not carelessly. Truth must be planted in prepared soil. Some minds will mock, others will misunderstand. Do not argue. Those who are ready will feel your sincerity and follow its vibration to understanding. The rest will awaken in time. Keep service as the compass of your prosperity. Whatever good flows to you must flow through you. The law resents stagnation. Give of your wisdom, your resources, your compassion. Help others awaken to their own power. By serving, you remain in motion, and motion ensures continuity. This is how abundance becomes eternal. It circulates through use. There will come a morning when you awaken and realize you no longer think about prosperity at all. You simply live it. Worry will seem childish, haste absurd. You will move with purpose and calm like the sea, powerful, vast, and untroubled by surface storms. That day marks the true awakening. You will have returned to the rhythm from which you were made. You will know then that abundance was never something to gain, but something to remember. The law has always been with you, waiting only for recognition. Every night of faith, every act of gratitude, every moment of forgiveness has peeled away a layer of blindness until the truth stood naked before you. You and abundance are one. Let that truth guide you in every decision. When confusion arises, return to silence. When temptation appears, return to gratitude. When exhaustion threatens, return to rest. The power that built worlds will restore you if you stop resisting long enough to receive. And now a final command to the subconscious, spoken not in demand but in communion. I am one with infinite intelligence. My mind is clear. My heart is open. All that I require flows to me in perfect order and perfect time. I rest in abundance, and abundance rests in me from this moment. Prosperity is not my pursuit, but my nature. It lives through me, moves through me, and blesses all it touches. Let these words become the final imprint upon your sleeping mind. Say them slowly with reverence, as though addressing the divine within. Feel their truth settling into every cell of your being. The subconscious, ever faithful, will carry out this decree, and the rhythm of abundance will continue without end. When morning comes, do not rush to test the result. Law works best in trust, not inspection. Move calmly through the day, knowing that every encounter, every delay, every success, and every seeming obstacle is part of a larger perfection. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. All is ordered by the intelligence that now acts through you. You have entered the frequency that few men ever reach, the steady vibration of abundance in rest. From here forward, the world will mirror your certainty. You will attract not because you chase, but because you are. You will inspire not because you teach, but because you live truth in silence. And you will enjoy prosperity not as reward, but as reflection of the harmony you have established within. The work is complete. The temple stands. The river flows. The rhythm is set. Law and mind are one. You have not merely learned abundance, you have become it. Sleep now in peace, for infinite intelligence labors through you. Its work is unending and its promise is sure. Abundance has no conclusion. It is the very life of God moving through man. Therefore, this night you are not finishing, you are beginning. Let all striving cease. Let the mind grow still. Let the soul return to its origin. For in that silence, abundance reigns forever. And as you drift into sleep, remember these final words. All that I seek is already mine in spirit. I need only recognize it. I am the vessel of infinite supply. I rest and law completes what I have begun. My peace is wealth. My faith is power. My love is prosperity. From this night and forevermore, I live in the rhythm of unbroken abundance. Now rest. The law remembers what you have spoken. Your subconscious holds the command. The unseen hand begins its perfect work. While the world sleeps, your destiny takes form. You have returned to the source, and the source will never let you run.